Breakfast Ninja! Welcome to my home, welcome to my kitchen. I was completely blown away and overwhelmed by the response that I got on my two first cooking videos. Wow, you guys are awesome. So tonight I am making beef stroganoff, but I am putting a low-calorie, healthy twist on it. So the beef stroganoff itself, when I'm done per serving, is about 260 calories. Now, the recipe calls for egg noodles. And while I am not someone, do I even have that right? While I'm not someone that will cut something entirely out of my diet, I just eat within my calorie budget. This is 200 calories per cup and a half. Instead, I'm going to get creative, and these are ready cut stir-fried vegetables. They're fresh and sold, or at least at my grocery store, Publix. They're sold in the produce, and I'm going to make those for myself with just a half a cup of chicken broth and then some simple seasonings, and it's going to be 104 calories. So we have 104 calories, we have 200 calories, and 104 calories for the whole bag. You can eat healthy. Most of the recipes that you find for beef stroganoff are going to call for a flank steak. However, you can get a London broil, and look at all of that meat. I'm actually doubling the recipe today. This is 2 pounds of London broil, and it has been sliced really, really thin. And that's the key to getting and incorporating and making sure that this beef is cooked and seared on all sides relatively quick. Now, other than the prep time, cutting up and measuring things, this is a quick dish and only gonna cook about 30 minutes once we get the meat seared. This recipe calls for 4 teaspoons of oil. You're going to separate them, but I ran out of teaspoons, so here's the 2 teaspoons. Now I've got 2 of them in my pan, and the other 2 I will add later. Okay, so back to the skillet. We have our 2 teaspoons of, I used coconut oil. Now you can use whatever oil you decide is in yours, but I keep coconut oil around, so that's what I'm using in my pan. Once I have the pan nice and hot, I'm going to add my steak to the skillet, and we're going to brown that for about 5 minutes. Okay, so I don't know if you can see me through all that steam, but I have had this beef cooking on all sides about 5 minutes now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer the beef and the juices to a dish right next to me. Place that back on heat, but I'm going to move the heat down to medium from high. I'm going to add the additional oil. Remember, it called for 4 teaspoons, but we separated it. And we used 2 to begin with, and now we're using 2 again. So we're going to get that oil nice and hot. And we are going to add 1 small onion, chopped as small as you can get it. We're going to add this to the pan. We're going to cook these onions for about 3 minutes on a medium heat. And when they're done, we're going to add the beef back to the dish and go to our next step. Okay, so after cooking the onions for about 3 to 4 minutes, we're going to add the beef and the juices from the beef back to the pan. Stir that up. I'm going to mix those onions in. And then we are going to sprinkle 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. And we are going to mix this in. Okay, now that that's mixed, we are going to add 1 cup of red wine. Two minced garlic cloves. a half a tablespoon of pepper. Now it calls for a can of beef broth, but instead of that, I have discovered this product called Better Than Bouillon, and I absolutely love it. It's a little more expensive than the standard little bouillon cubes, but the flavor cannot be matched. I am someone that loves to make soups, stews, gravies, and this bouillon is absolutely amazing. I'm going to mix that up a little bit, and because it calls for a whole can of bouillon, I am going to add 8 ounces of water to this, and I am going to bring it to a slow boil. Okay, so after adding all of our ingredients, I have just brought this to a low boil, and I have simmered it for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it has finally started thickening up. It's almost like a gravy-like consistency. So now we're on to the final step, which is 1 1/3 cup of plain Greek yogurt. This is unflavored plain Greek yogurt that we're adding, and this is what's going to give us that nice creamy texture. In the background over here, I have been boiling my egg noodles. Simply follow the instructions. The only thing that I didn't add to this recipe that the recipe typically calls for is mushrooms, because there are several people in the house that do not like mushrooms. So I am basically making this like a very elegant beef tip and gravy. But we're going to call it stroganoff. And right there is my vegetables, and we have some purple and regular cabbage. We have kale, we have carrots, cauliflower, broccoli. So that's going to be delicious and healthy. So I'm looking at a meal for under 500 calories. I can't wait to try this. I'm going to simmer it for 5 more minutes, and it should be done. Okay, so this has been at a simmer for about 20 minutes. The juices have all thickened up nicely, a little bit lighter than a gravy consistency. Now in this bowl here, I have mine, which is with the Chinese vegetables, the stir-fry vegetables, and in here I have a cup. The difference between the servings is that by the time you add this in the stroganoff, you are looking at somewhere around 560 calories. But when you do this, you are looking at 260 plus 104. Beef stroganoff can be made with several meats. The point is just reduce the amount of fat. Our biggest calorie reduction in that dish was making it with vegetables versus making it with noodles. Again, we made a healthier choice by using Greek plain yogurt instead of sour cream. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so you get notifications when I post something new, and I'll be cooking again soon. Meanwhile, come on over to Facebook at Princess Ninja Weight Loss and Motivation. It's a page, not a profile. Or check me out on Instagram, Princess Ninja 69.